Finally, a proven step-by-step system for melting away stubborn body fat forever, no matter how many times you've tried before. Challenge your lifestyle. Visualize the new you in 7 easy steps. These 7 easy-to-follow, proven methods will change your life forever. In 21 days or less, you will feel completely different about yourself, and best of all, after today, you won't be looking back. By Wayne Lambert. Introduction. Who is Wayne Lambert, and what can he teach you? As a child, Wayne was a shy and unconfident boy. Although he still remains an introvert, he now has so much confidence in his abilities that he can confront any challenge that he or others put in his way with very little doubt or fear. Wayne's childhood was hazy, to say the least, but what he does remember is the fact he felt alone. He blamed himself for things that were going on around him, but more importantly, he felt there was something missing in his life. Of course, as you get older, you tend to realize what you want from life, but the answers don't always come up too clearly. For Wayne, they came when he started having grown-up chats with his grandfather. Now, he wants to take nothing away from his father, as he's been an enormous influence on his life too, but the answers he needed were within his grandfather, who had past military experience and a stature that he respected and wanted for himself. Wayne used to visit his grandparents' flat, whether it was to have a meal, just to say hi, or for a family gathering, and he used to say things to him in a conversation, sometimes not even answers to any questions or problems Wayne had. Afterwards, Wayne would go home and write everything down his grandfather had to say, whether it be his wise words of wisdom from his past military endeavors or his life experiences as a whole. Most of all, though, Wayne discovered he was starting to thrive off his positive visualization of where he could actually see himself going and on his journey through life. From these talks, Wayne transformed his words onto paper and took them with him wherever he went. Soon, the words became his own words, his visualization, and his positive attitude. Once the transition phase was complete, Wayne literally felt, believed, and knew he could do anything he put his mind to. Wayne's teenage years were around the Mike Tyson era, of who he was extremely in awe of, as was the rest of the world, for what he had achieved at such a young age. Wayne thinks back to his dad taking him to join a boxing club, which was quite far from his house. But even so, he wanted to do it, and he wasn't going to let anything stop him from doing what he wanted to do. If anything, the distance actually made him more determined. The time in which Wayne joined the boxing club was around the same time he started his first full-time job, which was actually on the way to the club, although he finished his work at 5 p.m. and the club didn't open until 8 p.m. But the timing was yet another hurdle for some to overcome. Looking back now, Wayne thinks he had many excuses not to go. His dad worked nights, so he couldn't take him, and the timing didn't fit with anything else. But the answer was clear, and it never crossed his mind to question why he shouldn't go, because it was his desire, and he had visualized about what he wanted at that stage of life. Wayne had no excuses and no reasons why he should go, and best of all, his coach wouldn't let him fight until he had mastered everything that he knew. He trained 5 days a week, almost every week of the year, because he was committed. He went on to master the art of boxing, never lost a fight, won several championship fights, and became a coach when he knew the time was right. Then the inevitable happened. He decided he wanted to join the military, and not just any branch. He wanted to be an elite Royal Marine Commando. Now, don't get him wrong, he didn't really know what they were all about. He liked what the careers office was showing him with the advertisements, skiing in Norway, playing soldiers in the jungles of Brunei, and traveling the world whilst firing all those guns. Of course, he was hit with a swift reality check when he confronted the smartly dressed muscle bosun behind the desk and was told he had the wrong desk and maybe he should contemplate the Army or Navy. Suddenly, from that split second of hearing what the bosun said, something struck Wayne that he didn't believe he could do it, and not only that, he didn't want him to do it. So, naturally, because of the way he thought, Wayne said to the man behind the desk he still wanted to give it a go. to which the boatswain laughed and took him around the back, where he told him to proceed in doing certain exercises. A year or so later, Wayne became one of those soldiers in the careers office window, just as he had visualized, thought about, and set his goal on becoming. His short-term goal was to prepare for it, mid-term goal to pass the 8-month course, and the long-term goal to serve for many years until he had completed all that he desired. 13 years later, Wayne left as a physical training instructor, which was also physically and mentally demanding. Ultimately, the reason he left was important too. He left because he was given bad reports for gaining civilian qualifications in his spare time. The qualifications not only prepared Wayne for civilian life, but actually got him an extremely good position in the land of opportunity, the USA, as a fitness director and then as a physical training advisor to the United Arab Emirates military. All he can say is, shame on him for gaining health and fitness qualifications in his own time with his own money. What Wayne would like you to realize here is that he was a very shy person and not very confident with what he was getting himself into. But the things that kept him going through everything, both mentally and physically, were his grandfather's words, the way he visualized, and the way he taught Wayne how to think positively and set goals for himself. As Wayne wrote this book, he thought, "Oh, my dear Lord, how did I ever manage the things he did?" Quite frankly, he originally had no idea about nutrition, the effect of the training regimes he put himself through would have on his body. It was totally ludicrous. However, now as an ex-British Royal Marines commando, physical training instructor, and ex-boxing champion, and his CV includes some very high-profile jobs across the globe, alongside being a personal trainer, sports nutritionist, and exercise and motivation counselor, just to name a few. And best of all, he knows his grandfather would have been proud, as he knows his father is. Why this book will help you achieve permanent results. So how can this book help you achieve everything you desire? Well, there is always a punchline, and the punchline is this. In September of 2001, Wayne left the military, and with that transformation, and many others, became less active and actually picked up a few injuries from thinking he could do the same sports he did when he was a teenager, when actually he was in his early to mid-30s. He couldn't train as hard, especially any cardiovascular work, and through time, he actually had to undergo surgery on his knee. All of the above factors had an effect on his weight. He was eating the same as he always had, and quite simply assumed he could do everything he did as a boy, when in actuality he was in his mid-30s and inactive. The weight kept creeping on until one day a friend told Wayne how he had changed. By then, it seemed a little too late, especially as he hadn't even noticed the weight creeping up. So there you have it, Wayne's first negative thought in so many years. He was sure it was too late. Weeks later, he decided immediate action was required, but suddenly all of his past qualifications as a personal trainer and nutritionist didn't seem to make it any easier to get started and to proceed to where he wanted to get to. In actuality, if you speak to people in the health and fitness industry, the honest ones, you will find that 90% of them don't practice what they preach. To summarize, Wayne took his positive thinking, visualization strategy, and concept of setting personal goals and focused on what he had to do. He knew that he had to work around his injury, but through his thought processes, he knew he could lose the weight. After a while, the majority of the weight that he set out to lose was gone. He's now at the maintenance stage, at least until his knee is better and he can progress accordingly. Unfortunately, the majority of people that are over their natural weight are waiting for that miracle pill, a new diet that actually works, or they believe a cream or massage belt will get rid of cellulite or tone their body. This book will change that mindset and create a path for new thoughts, new habits, and ultimately, a new you. The Lifestyle Challenge is not rocket science. It's a quick, easy-to-follow plan that will help you, guide you, and lead you to wherever it is you want to go. There will be no limit as to how far you can go. So long as it's safe, you can stop the plan and continue to maintain wherever you choose. The plan can be kick-started after a short break for summer holidays or Christmas time, as long as you maintain what you had before you stopped. You can pick up where you left off and even change it a little if you're feeling that you've reached a plateau or you are a little bored. The plan is flexible, but with guidelines, so long as you stick to the basics, the rest will follow very easily and with little effort, only focus. This book is structured in such a way that it guides you in the right direction from the very beginning and ensures that you are not alone throughout the process of getting to where you need to get to in all that you desire. Wayne couldn't have achieved any of these things without a strategy. The strategy was belief through positive thinking, visualization, and setting his own personal goals. You will have your own strategy. You will maintain your own belief. You will be more positive. You will visualize what you want. You will have your very own goals to get where you want to get to. This book will guide you all the way.